Now, this Monday, Equity Group finally made good its pledge to venture into the telecom space by launching Equitel. Equitel's entry is expected to spur increased competition in the mobile money space that has long been dominated by Safaricom's M-Pesa money transfer service. I'm now joined by Dr. James Mwangi, Equity Group CEO, to take us through that. Dr. Mwangi, thank you so much for joining us on the Business Center tonight. Now, during the launch of Equitel, you termed it as disruptive, and we know that disruptive means, an innovation that either displaces an established technology that could shake up the industry, or a groundbreaking product that could completely change the scene of whatever space you're operating in. So how disruptive will Equitel be?
Thank you very much, Terry. We believe Equitel will be very disruptive because it changes the way things have been done. The first thing is that the thin SIM that we have introduced into the market has the ability to convert all the 27 million single SIM phones into dual SIM phones, giving the 27 million Kenyans a choice of services and exerting pressure to the industry to receive better prices, better product, and better reception. The second aspect is that it brings in convergence between banking and telecommunications for the first time, and essentially changes the way banking is done. Presently, we go to banks. With Equitel, the bank is with you 24 hours a day and wherever you are. So we have removed geographical distance, and we have removed time as a factor in accessing banking. That is why we believe it is going to be very disruptive, because we have brought the future forward. What would have been the banking of the future is now here with us. All
right, tell me, what will it cost to send money through within Equitel and within either other banks or other mobile networks? Essentially,
when you are within the equity network, we have zero-rated money transfer. We're essentially saying this will be a value-add service to our customers. And for the customers who are not within our network, we have created an interoperable system that serves the whole Kenyan population. So you can send money to any bank account in the country, not just within Equity. You can send money to any telecom mobile account within the country, and you can also send money to any telephone account, even where there is no account that has been opened. And this money can be accessed at any banking ATM, any bank account, over the counter, and it can be accessed through the agency network. And lastly, we have the capability of sending money to any Visa or MasterCard account worldwide. So essentially, we have liberalized a sector that was closed and was operating on a closed-loop basis. We understand the Equitel SIM card is selling at about 500 shillings, and I'd like you to tell us, how did you arrive at that figure, knowing that other SIM cards are quite cheaper on the market, and where can one get a SIM card? Thank you very much. There are two SIM cards that we have introduced: the regular SIM card, which we are giving for free, not even selling for the 100 that other telecom sells for. But the thin SIM is not just a SIM card. It is a replacement of the second phone that majority of people hold. So it's like saying we are saving people the cost of buying a second phone at a cost of only 500 shillings. But in addition to people paying the 500 shillings, we are giving them a free air time of 200 shillings. So the net cost is only 300 shillings. Now, of course, the word on the grapevine is that this is likely to spark quite some price wars within the telecoms market. Two big corporates which can easily go head-to-head with each other. The court cases in the past are anything to go by. What is your thoughts on how the competition is likely to take this? An idea whose time has come is very difficult to prevent. Remember, to launch the thin SIM, We had to win the battle at the Central Bank of Kenya, the CAK, at Parliament, at the executive level, and now we have won the battle in 2 court cases. So essentially, it was more of a delaying tactic as a competitive way of creating barriers to entry. But essentially, as you have rightly said, what I see as the biggest battle will be on innovation. We all have now to be innovative. We have to be very creative in what we are offering. Prices must be reasonable. Quality of product must be right, and the services must be essential. And I think Kenyans can pick it better when they remember where we were in banking before Equity democratized banking. We could only withdraw once every 7 days. And the amount you could withdraw was capped to 10,000 shillings. There was a ledger fee on monthly basis of 300 shillings, and banks opened at 8 and closed at noon. So you could see the transformation. Today, you can't believe that that's how banking was. I believe 5 years to come, telecommunication industry will be very different. I believe it will be, the industry will be now open, and we might have 4 successful telecoms serving Kenyans, giving Kenyans greater choice, and giving Kenyans that freedom to be able to make decisions and influence the industry.
Okay, talking about the 4 dominant or 4 major players in the telco space, I want to get your side of the story. Which side of the divide are you when it comes to the dominance topic that's been on the headlines recently? Which side of the divide are you?
Dominance has never been good for anybody. It's neither good for the institution, because it brides it. It stops being innovative, and most of the dominant companies come to an end within a very short time. 2, it's not good for the consumers, because essentially goods and products are thrown down the throat of the consumers because they don't have choice. And when you deny people choice, it's essentially taking dignity away from them. Freedom of choice is so basic and so central to esteem of our people. So I believe dominance is not good for anybody.
Dr. Mwangi, as we wind up, we understand you're among the Kenyan business leaders that are slated to speak at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. What message do you intend to share, if you can give us a hint of what you'll be talking about?
The Global Entrepreneurship Summit is something that will transform this country to a great perspective. The first one is the blood of this country. This country will now be associated with entrepreneurship. If it is well captured, then it will be very attractive to foreign direct investors. So essentially they will come to an environment that entrepreneurship is renowned for. The second one is rebranding. This country for the last couple of years has had its image branded by the perception of insecurity. Now we are changing that narrative. While Obama and the entrepreneurs come, the international media is taking Kenya to the world. So again, the question of who is Kenya will now be well defined. Rarely does a US president stay in a country for 3 days. So you could imagine all international media focusing on Kenya for 3 days. How much publicity this country will receive. So I see great. But lastly, my greatest hope is that the Obama visit, on the basis of entrepreneurship, will inspire our youth to think entrepreneurship, because Africa is open for business.
Thank you so much. Dr. James Mwangi, Equity Group CEO, joining us on the Citizen Business Center. Asante sana for joining us this evening.